Hi, I'm Dan. I have a disability, and if you would let me, I'd like to explain to you what that's like. Maybe you don't have a disability yourself, but I would hope that I could add more to this conversation and maybe spread some kindness, some positivity, but also some truths and some realism about this second part of the world that a lot of people don't get to see. I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with my disability. I mean, one of my earliest memories is not being able to look into one of those body size mirrors because I didn't really want to look at the shape of my legs, because I knew that they looked off, they looked wrong, you know. And seeing that was the closest reminder of my disability. In myself, I don't act disabled, so, you know, that's really my only link back to it. And I remember at this time feeling very sad and confused and isolated by that, really. Luckily I'm in a much better headspace, but I think this is something that's very common amongst people with disabilities, and the way in which we choose to express ourselves and express our differences, I think can bring us a bit closer together. In regards to my upbringing, I wasn't really sheltered from my disability, really. I was told quite early on that there was something different about me, but growing up was quite difficult, being in the playground and seeing your fellow peers doing stuff that you wish that you could, you know, jumping, running, all things that I think they took for granted, the others, but that's not their fault. They haven't known any different. But yeah, I remember as a kid being sat there and wanting to do what they did, wanting to join in, but not. And it didn't make it any easier with how my primary school chose to deal with that. They chose to segregate me and separate me from all my friends. They chose to put me in the corner and bung me on a laptop because they didn't have the right resources, the right training to deal with a kid like me. And that adds to this overwhelming feeling of isolation and difference which you can get. Growing up and being in a new school environment was also an interesting thing to deal with. Moving from primary to secondary, you have no idea how those older kids are going to treat you. Luckily, I wasn't faced with many bullies. In fact, I'd say that I didn't face any, to be honest with you. And the people that did pick on me, well, luckily I had my older sister at the same school. But it's quite difficult when adjusting to new places. Your first thought often goes to, are people going to accept me? And then your second thought often goes to, are people actually liking me, or is it because they feel pity? And that's an intrusive thought that I've had to deal with for almost all my life, and one that I don't think, honestly, is going to go away anytime soon. Employability in jobs is a topic that I could go on for hours about, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to talk about it at some point in the future, so if I have, there's a video up there or down there or wherever it may be. But to cut a long story short, I ended up having to volunteer at my local library because I was faced with so many loopholes and hurdles and so many organisations that didn't want to take me in based on something that I can't control. And it felt frustrating, very, very frustrating, especially this aspect of the fact that I can't control any of this, and employers are treating me this way based on a box that's been ticked. I mean, I won't name the name of any companies, but I remember one employer told me straight up that they didn't want to employ me because it involved too much paperwork and risk assessment sheets, which was just horrible and disgusting and went against every discrimination law in the book. And most importantly, it made me feel little and unheard and unseen, and added to the intrusive thought that the people that said that I couldn't do anything were right.